Hundreds of billions of wealth was lost in just 1 week after the Chinese government began a series of crackdown across the private sector. Why is the Chinese government going after its own companies, and what can it gain by doing that? Let's try to understand that today. Hi guys, Stanley here. I'm the co-founder of valueinvestasia.com, an investment portal where we will give you investment news and also in-depth analysis on listed company every single week. So if you're new to this channel, remember to hit that subscribe button so you will not miss out on any of our videos. The Chinese government has really stepped up its oversight across the private sectors this year. They started cracking down on anti-monopolistic practices for tech companies. Alibaba was fined more than $2.8 billion and need to change some of its business practices. Both Meituan and also Tencent Holdings were also under investigation. The government even blocked a merger between Huya and Douyu, the two leading live streaming platforms in China. And now, the crackdown has spread to the educational sector. Stocks of educational companies like TAL Education Group and New Oriental Education have dropped more than 90% this year. The sweep of regulation has not only affected Chinese stock listed in the Hong Kong and US market, but the fear has spread to even the domestic market, leading to a sudden 6% drop of the Shanghai Composite Index from just a week ago. So why is the Chinese government doing this, and what are they trying to accomplish? We have talked about the anti-monopoly crackdown in previous videos, so you can definitely check it out right here. But for both the anti-monopoly crackdown and the current reforms that we're seeing in the private educational industry, the end objective for the Chinese government might be the same. And just because China has been growing so well during the past few decades after they embraced capitalism, we tend to forget that China is still being run by a communist party. They might have accepted capitalism, but the ideal society for a Chinese government is still a socialist one. This means that they are never going to let the free market truly be free. Because free market, if left uncontrolled, can create some problem of its own as well. For example, we experience the classic violent boom and bust of asset classes, and we see companies growing so big that they are classified as too big to fail. That will also lead to the creation of ultra-wealthy individuals like Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates, and that really symbolizes the widening wealth disparity and can create more social discontent. So, as education is also an important part of helping society improve in social mobility, if it is left to the free market, it will create a situation where the rich can afford better education for the children, while the public school might be neglected and underperformed. As the Chinese government follow a socialistic philosophy, these are issues with capitalism that they want to prevent. Whether you agree or disagree with that will depend on your political leaning, but I think we can all agree that both model at their extreme, either a complete free market or a complete government control, can create their own sets of challenges. But to the Chinese government, the objective is really to ensure that the Chinese society continue to be molded based on their version of the future. Capitalism is just a tool to help China become a wealthy society, but that wealth and opportunity should be spread out more evenly. And that is the theory, at least. So let's look at the most recent private tutoring rules. The government is forcing all private tutoring companies that are teaching core school subjects to transform into non-profit organizations. This means that these private tutoring companies are not allowed to make any profit for any tutoring business if they're teaching based on public school core subjects. And they are not even allowed to run classes on weekends and public holiday as well. This is to ensure that the access of education is the same for all kids regardless of their social background, and also to reduce the financial burdens of parents. In the current private tutoring industry in China, parents would feel the pressure and the need to sign up for all this expensive tutoring if their circle of friends are all doing it as well. After all, no one will really want to see their kids being left behind in terms of education. But that will also put a lot of stress on the parent to provide for the kid, and many couples might end up just thinking of having less children or even opting not to have any. Therefore, the new policy is set to encourage parents to have more kids if they know that the cost of raising a child would not be too financially stressful. The Chinese government now allows and also encourages couples to have up to 3 kids. They hope that will reverse the declining birth rate in China and avoid the fate of countries like Japan and their aging population. They also need to prevent a situation where education is split between social classes, where the wealthy can send their children to private schools and have private tutors, while the education in the public school might not be able to compete. So what does all this mean for investors? For educational companies like TAL Education or New Oriental Education, we are going to see a huge change in their business. Both companies have announced that they will adjust their business model to fit the new ruling. So if you're looking at their stock prices now and thinking that maybe it's a good time to invest and they might recover fully, that might never happen, because this is a structural change to their business and not a temporary setback. And if you're looking to invest in China stock in general, there are a few things we should be aware of going forward. For one, we should be reminded that the political risk will always be high when investing in this market. For companies within sensitive industries like education, finance, or media, there will be government intervention sooner or later. And for a company to grow more smoothly, maybe they might need to be in sector where the government is actually promoting. For example, in recent years, the main industry that the Chinese government is really promoting is the EV sector. So instead of facing possible negative regulation, maybe companies within the EV space might even enjoy government incentive for the next few years. We have done a video comparing the EV startup Neo Inc. with industrial leader Tesla in our previous video. So if you are interested to invest in the EV sector, remember to check out that video as well. Anyway, let us know, has the recent series of government intervention in the private sector really spooked you from investing in the Chinese stocks? Or are you seeing them as great buying opportunity? Share your thoughts with us below. If you're new to investing, remember to check out our investing course at valueinvestasia.com/free course. We have a 15-lesson course to teach you all the basics about investing and catch you up to speed. And as always, till we meet again, my name is Stanley. Invest safely.